name's Jed Hacker. I'm with the Columbus Railroad Society, and today we're going to do a quick project putting a solar light into a building. This should only take a few minutes, so this will be a pretty short video, but it's a quick project you can do after work and have lighted buildings by the time it gets dark out. So let's get started. Okay, so what we're going to need for this project. First, you of course need a solar light and some wire snips, wire strippers, soldering iron, solder, and some flux to go with that soldering. I have extra wire because the distance from where I can mount the solar panel, let's say, on the outside of the building is a bit of a distance to where the battery unit is. So when you take this apart, you can throw this away, and then you cut around the solar panel and take out these three little screws, and you end up with a couple of different pieces here. You get the solar panel, and you get the battery, plus the little board here that tells it when to turn on, which basically is just done by when it gets too dark, the light bulb comes on. Pretty simple. But inside this little battery pack is a rechargeable AA battery inside here. Okay, so as you prepare your wires, you'll want to tin the ends, which just means putting just a little bit of solder on the wire, the bare wire exposed here. It makes it a lot easier when you're trying to make the connection later on. So just put a little flux on there and a little solder on each end, and then you're all set. Okay, for the next part, another item I forgot to mention, you'll need to have shrink tubing, and that'll be used to go over top of your wire connections just to give them a little bit of protection. It's probably not 100% necessary. It's low voltage, and for $3 these things aren't going to last forever anyways, but I've got it, so I'm going to use it. But you just take a little bit of shrink tubing, slip it over the top before you solder all these parts together, because once you have it together, you're not going to be able to go back and put these tubes on. But I'll show you what you do with those in a minute. Okay, now I've got my joints soldered together, and I had the shrink tube over top of it shrinking down. I'll probably wrap that up with some electrical tape just to maybe give it a little extra weather protection, but probably not necessary. Next thing will be to figure out where to put this on the roof. So on this building, I have a chimney, and then I wanted to balance it out, so I'm going to put the solar panel over here. I guess you could put it in the middle, but I'm going to try to hide it so it looks like it's part of the building, and at least it's kind of equal. And then on the inside, lots of space in here, but I'm going to center the light in the middle of the building, in the back building. And I've put just one light in several other buildings of this size, and it's just fine. You don't need to have super bright lights. Once it's dark out, it becomes a really nice look. Doesn't need to be too bright. So I've already drilled my hole, and now it's just with a 1/4-inch drill bit. After I get this set in place, one more item I forgot to mention that you'll need is silicone, and I use that to hold everything in place and make a water barrier so water won't leak into your building. But you just kind of silicone around the edges, and it'll hopefully look like it belongs there. Right? Okay, so here's what I've done on the inside. It's not pretty, but it doesn't have to look pretty because nobody's going to see it. Over here is where I drilled the hole and stuck the wire through. I put a glob over my first connection. I've got my lead wire, extension wire here. Then I just glued it into place or siliconed it into place. So I'm going to let that dry, and then we'll be ready to put it outside. Okay, so while we're waiting for the silicone to dry just a little bit before I place it outside, wanted to come out here and show you my beautiful flowering purple plum tree that I have. It's in the center of my garden, and this is the week that it looks good. And next time we have a hard rain or hard wind, it's all those flowers are gone. But it's still a nice looking tree. But for this 1 week every year, it looks absolutely spectacular. And today's just a really nice day to get to document this. So the building that I just finished putting a light in, it's gonna go right here. And I'll come back tonight and show you what it looks like. It's now twilight and the lights have turned on. You can see that the new light in this building it's a little bright. I might need to put a baffle around it so it kind of diffuses the light a little bit. But as you can see, we have lights in all three of my brewery buildings here. It's not nighttime yet, but it's kind of in that in-between time. It's dark enough to switch on the solar lights, but you can still see what you're doing. I was worried if I waited too long that it would get too dark and you wouldn't be able to see anything. I know our club has a 10-foot rule that if it looks good from 10 feet, it's good enough. I also have a rule that if it looks good in the dark, it's also good enough. So finish up here, get a little passing shot of my Hacker Express train. It is passing by. I've got lights inside the cars, but they are not lighted through the track power. I'll show you in another video what I do there. So just to wrap up here, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and click the like button. We'll see you when we see you.